You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, good Friday morning, everybody. I am Glenn the Geek in Ocala, Florida.
And I am Jamie Jennings, and I am in Norman, Oklahoma, and you're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Friday, January 19th, episode 3347, brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. Good morning, horse people.
It's Friday, and another weekend of riding is a few short hours away. Jamie and Glenn are here to help you make it through the day with some fun guests and some really bad ads. Enjoy the show.
Well, happy freaking cold Friday, everybody. We have Chelsea Gammon's coming on. She's with Folly and Friends Mustang Sanctuary in Pennsylvania, talking about fox hunting with her Mustangs. I'm going to give you an update on the barn build and why I'm back home, not out at the property this morning. Plus, we have an update later on in the show. Your new horse, Taco, got his vet check.
Yes.
On Wednesday, we're going to find out. I don't even know how that went. We're going to find out how that went a little later in the show. Plus, we have some really terrible bad ads. We'll get to those. Also, in our Auditor Post show, Auditor Mary Schmidt is going to come on and talk to us about her trip to Ocala last week. She got to do a clinic, and she's going to talk to us about that and what else she got up to while she was here. I am back home in the studio. If you remember right, Wednesday we were out at the new farm, over 2 acres ranch, and the barn was being built. It is finished now in 2 days, by the way. It's like a big erector set. They just put all the pieces together with some bolts, and you have a metal barn.
That's cool.
It is kind of nice. It takes a lot less time. However, Wednesday after the show, everything in our living quarters broke. The heater stopped heating, and, it's getting down to the 30s at night, so that's pretty chilly. The water leak that I had fixed a couple of weeks ago by putting in a new water pump was back, flooding our floor. Our generator stopped running after its $200 fix 2 weeks ago, did the same thing and stopped running, so we couldn't recharge our batteries. So we pretty much, after they were done that day, packed up and came home.
So it seems to me like you gave up. Because, who needs heat, water, or
electric
power?
Yeah.
That's like everything, Glenn.
We had the water leak. It's like, okay, we can deal with that. We have extra water. We can deal with the water leak. But when the heat stopped and the generator stopped, that was it.
We're done. Back up. Oh God, I could just see how mad you were.
This trailer is 2 years old. What we always joked about with RVs just falling apart, well, there you go. The nice part is we had a house to go back to. Imagine if there are people living in their trailers. Can you imagine that when everything breaks? What do? You go to a hotel, I guess. That's what you do.
You suck it up, Glenn. That's what you normal people do.
Anyway, Jennifer's in there trying to find somebody to fix. That'll be $1,000, $2,000 with everything that needs fixed there. But I put a little picture. I'll put it in the show notes of our little red barn. So
nice. It's adorable.
Yeah, so we'll build the stalls ourselves and do all that part. They finish out the tack room and all that stuff ourselves. We're qualified at that. I just didn't want to do metal things. And it was cold that day, and I don't think they own gloves in Florida. So, and one of them spoke a little bit of English. I could communicate with him a little bit. The others had no idea what I was saying. So, but they were efficient and fast and got it done. It looks great. So we're excited to have a barn. We're not excited to spend another $1,000 or $2,000 getting our trailer fixed.
Oh, come on.
Well, we have a bunch of auditor birthdays this weekend. Angie Wilson, Taylor Ferguson, Cheryl Rings, Megan Lapkoff, and a very belated birthday wish to Mel Foxworth, who apparently I missed last week. I don't know. Mel's got her birthday on Facebook, too, so that was my fault. I can't even blame her. like I normally do. So, Mel, I'm sorry. Also, remember last week we had an interview with Horse Trails of America Association, and they were going to give away a saddlebag for one of our listeners? Well, I have an announcement of who won that.
Oh, cool.
Lisa Dow won, and Lisa's going on the cruise with us in a week. Cruise is coming up, 2 weeks. So, Lisa, congratulations. You won the saddlebag. They'll be in touch with you, and enjoy that on your trail rides.
Well, as we all know, the weather has been just abhorrent all over the country and in Canada, and everybody's suffering. But yesterday we had, Glenn, it was like I opened the door and I could hear the angels singing. Oh, like it was beautiful and sunny, and it got all the way up to 43 degrees.
Oh, a heat wave.
I know. So, of course, now Farm Boy has made his way back into the country.
Oh, he's back
Remember?
from Asia?
He was in Singapore and Vietnam. Now,
how'd that go, by the way?
Well, I asked him that. I said, how was it being like 9 feet taller than everybody there? Apparently, maybe y'all can get on this, but apparently one of the instructors from his school started a Cowboy in Singapore Instagram page. Or something like that. So somebody find that and send it to me, because he wouldn't tell me where it is. But it was like Cowboy in Asia or something like that Instagram page. And they just took pictures of him walking around looking ridiculous in Singapore. So anyway, so he's back. So we actually got to ride some horses yesterday, and it was amazing. And so I say, how was it? Man, I'm awful tired of eating chicken stock and noodles. I was like, what? He's like, that's all they eat is noodles with chicken broth. And I was like, so he was like, I came home and he's like, I have a list and I've been checking off my list. I went to Raising Cane's. I went to Taco Bell. He named like all of these ridiculous restaurants. He's like, because he's not big, like he's skinny anyway. And then he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy. Now, I will also tell you that, another Farm Boy side note here is this last group of chickens that I had all chickens, and instantly in like the last week, one of them turned into a rooster, like giant crowing, like beefy foghorn leghorn looking rooster. And I was like, did somebody throw that over the fence? Where did that come from? And Ginger was like, no, it just finally matured. I told you there was going to be one. And I was like, it's huge. And so I get a text from Farm Boy last night, and he's like, hey, mind if I come get that rooster to take it to a party?
Please tell me you asked why.
No, I just go, that's the weirdest text ever, and absolutely come and get it. So update will come as to why Farm Boy needed to come and get a rooster to take it to a party, a call on campus. So
nothing good could come of that.
And of course, like, I'm like, that's weird, but sure, come get it. What does he respond with? Nothing. That was it. That's all I get. Can I come and
My guess is they have a lot of different things to eat over there. My guess is he's just not a kimchi kind of guy.
No. I asked him too. I go, did you enjoy the kimchi? And he was like, what's that? I was like, okay, that's more Korea. So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a lot of different things. I'm sure he was not eating the weird fish stuff.
No, he said he ate chicken broth and noodles for like 3 weeks.
I gotta be honest though, that'd probably be me too.
Yeah. He's like
ramen noodles for.
I hit all the places: Sonny's Barbecue, Raising Cane's Chicken.
That's funny. Hey, I came across this and I wanted to get your help with it because I saw this headline, and I don't normally look at headlines like this because it's health related. Morris Animal Foundation announced its selection of 10 new grants dedicated to enhancing the well-being of domesticated horses, ponies, donkeys, and mules. And Morris Animal Foundation, they donate a lot of money for this kind of stuff. And then I don't know why I went to the article, but I did. And then I started looking because I thought maybe we know somebody that's getting a grant, right?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, a lot of rescues no.
We don't know people this smart.
Okay.
Reading the list of the titles of the things they're going to study that they got the grants for, I have no idea what they're talking about. And I had no idea how to pronounce most of the words. You're better at pronouncing words, so you're going to get a shot at announcing some of these titles, and then we'll figure out what they're going to talk about. And this is going to make you feel like you never even graduated elementary school.
Oh my God, there's so many people that are going to be so smart listening to this, calling us stupid.
I know.
Do you realize that?
I know, but I feel stupid reading this, actually.
Okay, well, let me give an example to everybody, because here we've got the first one. I haven't read these, but the University of Pennsylvania study. What role does epidermal growth factor receptor pathway play in the pathogenesis and treatment of equine osteoarthritis?
Yep.
I don't even know what I read.
If it wasn't bad ads, we'd make fun of it. But
what is it? A skin factor receptor pathway. What? I don't even know. Okay, the next one.
Oh, it gets better.
Royal Veterinary College in UK. Insights into the I don't even know if I'm saying these right, so please don't shame
You're
me.
doing better than I would.
Insights into the pathogenesis of equine metabolic syndrome, plasma amino acid, and cyclocarnitine profiles in ponies with insulin dysregulation.
I understood insulin. I got that. And ponies. I got those two words on that one.
The next one, Auburn University, effects of omeprazole treatment on the pharmacokinetics of orally administered flunixin meglumine in adult horses, a pilot study.
I understood a pilot study. That kind of
flunixin meglumine is Banamine. I know what that is. Omeprazole is Gastrogard. So they're testing those things together for some reason. University of Kentucky investigation of the immunopathogenesis of equine protozoal myeloencephalitis. That's EPM. So effects of EPM.
The
cool.
immunopathogenesis. Does that mean the beginning? Genesis?
Is it pathogenesis?
Does that mean it's the
pathogenesis?
Well, Genesis means beginning, right? So
the next one from NC State. I was just going to keep moving.
I looked up immunopathogenesis. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. It involves the exaggerated host response to endobronchial antigens.
What? But how do you say it? Look up that, because is it pathogenesis or pathogenesis?
I have no idea. Let me look up pronunciation.
I think it's GENISIS if it was Genesis. Who the hell cares? Next one, NC State identifying CFTR inhibition as a treatment for equine diarrhea using an in vitro patient-derived organoid platform. Okay.
Here, I have it for you.
Immunopathogenesis.
Immunopathogenesis.
I'm not British, Glenn.
I'm sorry, that's what it gave me.
Next one, University of Saskatchewan, Canada, understanding the chromatin regulation of lytic equine herpes virus 1 gene expression. The next one from UC Davis, unraveling the genetic etiology of equine neuroaxonal dystrophy in quarter horses and warm bloods. All right. I'm glad you guys are doing that. Thank you very much. Fantastic job.
When you're done, we'll find somebody that can tell us what they are in English, because this just made me feel like I have no education at all.
I mean, I couldn't possibly. I understand. It's like when you're in a foreign, like say I'm talking to somebody who speaks Spanish, okay, and they start speaking Spanish. I can pick out certain words that I know,
like equine diarrhea. I get that.
Yeah, I know what diarrhea is. I know what the word genetic means.
I know what ponies are.
I know what quarter horse and warm bloods are. Yeah, so there you go. That's all we've got. It's like speaking Spanish, and you're like, oh, hola, I know that word.
I just read these and thought, oh my God. Anyway, there will be people that are listening to this right now who understood all of that.
I really feel
God
like I just painted myself stupid.
Well, no, we're both stupid. This is just this is the reason we do this silly show, is because we're not qualified to do any of that.
We're in it together. Okay, I appreciate that then. We're good.
We just help people get through the day and hopefully make them laugh a little bit, because we can't do any of that. They don't want us doing the chromatin regulation of lytic equine herpetovirus. They don't want us doing that. I didn't
pronounce any of these people's names on purpose. So
yeah, because we would have screwed those up more than the other.
Yep.
All right, let's head to Kentucky Performance Products, and then our first guest, Chelsea's going to join us from Pennsylvania.
Frequently asked questions, brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. Is it necessary to feed additional fat or oil to my horse when I supplement with a natural vitamin E powder like Elevate? No, it is not necessary to provide additional fat or oil to your horse when supplementing with the natural vitamin E contained in Elevate Maintenance Powder. A typical horse will consume enough fat from their diet to support the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. An exception to the rule would be a horse that is severely malnourished or one that has a medical condition that interferes with fat absorption. Most horse people don't consider hay and pasture as sources of dietary fat, but they are. For example, mixed grass pasture contains between 2 and 4% fat, depending on the variety of grass. Hays contain between 1.5 to 3% fat. If your horse is eating 15 pounds of hay, that diet is providing from 1/4 to 1/2 pound of fat per day. You can learn more about Elevate and natural vitamin E at kppusa.com. Got questions about your feeding program? We can help. Email Karen at questions@kppusa.com or call us at 859-873-29.
Our first guest today is Chelsea Gammon. She is of Folly and Friends Mustang Sanctuary near where I grew up in Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. Hi, Chelsea.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us today. Now, I know your area very well, and I'm so glad you're joining us today. Tell us a little bit about Folly and Friends.
So, Folly and Friends was started just with my first Mustang, Folly, and I completely fell in love with her versatility, and then it kind of snowballed from there. We currently have 15 permanent residents, and that changes depending on which horses are being adopted out, and some stay here that really aren't that compatible with the normal domestic life. And we're kind of a multi-pronged approach. So we take in some that are rescue cases, abuse cases. We have one who was from a kill pen, and she had been very aggressive through awful kind of training methods used on her prior. And we rehabbed her, and now she takes treats from children, but she's never going to really be able to be ridden. She has a lot of bad arthritis from being hogtied and things like that. And then other ones we tame so that we can bring people out into the middle of the herd with everyone, and they all come up and surround them, which is kind of a really special thing you don't really get at many other Mustang sanctuaries. And then we have the ones that really like a job. So my goal with them is to train them, do a variety of disciplines. Fox hunting tends to be my favorite. So if they like doing that, then that's great. If not, we start doing other things with them. And get those kind of out in the local community, just showing people what they're capable of. And then we also, since most of our herd is gentle enough to be handled, we do a lot of social programs with special needs kids who come in and work with them, kind of benefit from the therapy of being around horses. We've had veterans come in and work with some of the horses, women's shelters, recovery houses, and things like that. So we're really trying to just show people how amazing and healing Mustangs are while training and healing other Mustangs ourselves.
That's fantastic. I think that's great. You fox hunt? I'm very familiar with fox hunting because my wife was a fox hunter for many, many, many years, and I just have never seen a fox hunting Mustang before.
It's something that you wouldn't expect them to take to. The hardest thing is first them learning that the hounds aren't predators, depending on where they were from in the wild. But once they realize that, then they really take to it, because if you think about it, they're galloping around with a herd of other horses through the woods and fields and things like that. So that's very natural to them. They're very sure-footed. They have the stamina to go all day.
Good jumpers.
And most of them are, yeah.
Glenn, of course they're good jumpers, duh. I invented my Mustangs.
Yeah, I mean, some of my Mustangs jump better than the thoroughbreds and warmbloods that I used to own.
Is that because they're more sure-footed, you think?
I think there's an extra heart to them that I can't put my finger on what it is. They're just so gritty and determined, and once they're willing to work for you and trust you, they'll give you 110%. Like I've reached the bottom of Folly's tank numerous times, galloping after hounds that weren't going where they were supposed to try to get them back. And that horse will just give me everything she has and then some. And
now, Chelsea, I'm reminded of my first Mustang Thor. He, bless his heart, I picked him up from the auction because he just looked different than everybody else. Well, to me, as an eventer, you pick a horse that looks a certain way. And then I had Thor, who did not look at all like that. And I remember being in a jumping lesson, and he was really having to work a lot harder. And the instructor said, "Listen, Jamie, he wasn't built for it. He's not bred for it. You're going to have to help him."
Mm-hmm. And that's
like, okay.
Well, and that's something when I had thoroughbreds, I would look at their conformation like a hawk, and then I get Folly, my first one, and she is, God bless her, she is spare parts. I call her my corgi, and she should not be able to do half the things she does, looking at how she's built, but she does, and I do have to help her out a little bit there, and to be able to do that job and keep doing it sound, but it's just amazing that it affects them less than it would a domestic horse. Like I see Mustangs and all these breed influences come together. Sometimes it's a little wonky, and it doesn't faze me to get one like that anymore because they still hold up.
Yeah, they're way tough. Now, you and I were chatting online. I don't know if you know this, we're Facebook friends, and you and I were both looking at the auction. They do, the BLM does the online auctions. And you and I both were looking at this one buckskin horse. And Glenn, these horses, if you just walk up, they're $125 to adopt. But they do these auctions and people get competitive. What did that buckskin horse end up at, Chelsea?
Well, he was at $8,010. And I had bid. So I've been debating entering the Mustang Classic in Kentucky. And I haven't found a horse since Folly that I got those crazy butterflies for until I saw him. And then multiple people sent me him and were like, "Chelsea, this is your horse." I was like, "I know, I'm trying not to look at him."
Was he trained at all?
No, completely untouched. You get maybe an 18-second video clip. You have no idea if that horse has all sorts of arthritis or anything going on in his legs until they show up. And so I had been saving money for something that I didn't know, and I bid a little higher than I wanted to on that horse, but was outbid. And actually, and I haven't really totally announced this on the internet, I ended up getting that horse because the problem with the internet adoption is sometimes people get carried away and they bid, and then the time comes for them to pay for it, and they're like, "Oh." So they retract their bids, and there were two people that had outbid me, bid higher than I did. And I expected them, if they're willing to go that far, I expected them to battle it out. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Because there was another local girl, and she was considering jumping into the bid at the end. And I gave her my word that I wouldn't go back in. If she wanted to do it, then go for it. But she didn't. She ended up withdrawing her bids previous week just because she got a little spooked about the whole idea. And so when it came down to it, all these people were removing their bids, and I had bid like early as well. And once all those bids were removed and all of the previous bids of theirs, because the BLM sees it as if they weren't intending to take home the horse anyway and pay for it, then they should have been running the price up. His price ended up dropping down significantly, and I was a little shocked when I got that second chance offer that they sent.
Oh my God, you got him! This is amazing.
I got him.
Oh my gosh, congratulations. He was, it's just a gorgeous buckskin Mustang gelding. And I remember messaging you because you posted it, and I was like, I had already been looking at it. I'm like, $8,000 for an untouched wild horse. And then I said, what is the deal? And you were like, well, he's really fancy. And I'm like, yeah, but not $8,000 fancy for a wild horse. And then you ended up getting him. That is so cool. Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you actually gotten him?
No, so I have to drive out to Ohio in the middle of March to pick him up.
When hopefully the snow stops.
I really hope so.
So are you planning on doing the Mustang Classic with him?
I would like to. So it's been a long time since I've competed. Especially with what I do here at the sanctuary, I've taken a lot of tough cases that aren't the ones that get done in a certain time frame. You kind of go at their pace and see what they want to do, and so it's been a while since I've competed.
I feel like you and Jamie are sisters and don't even know it.
Yeah.
So this Mustang Classic, that's the new one, right?
Yeah, so it's all English. There'll be a dressage class, a jumping class, and then your choice of a cross country or working equitation type class. So
could you just, Jamie, call your new pony Taco? Could you just say that one's a Mustang? And
well, see, here's what happened, Glenn. So Chelsea, I just bought a little sad case, and the reason I bought him was because I was actually. He popped up at the same time I was looking on the internet, internet auction adoption. So if it wasn't little Taco, it would be one of these wild horses, and I probably would have been outbid by Chelsea anyway. So, but yeah, it's so dangerous. But what I'm learning here is that I've bought a few horses off of an internet internet auction. And I've done it a couple times. And one of them, I was consuming an overabundance of wine. And I ended up bidding way higher than I wanted to. But I didn't realize I could retract my bid. That's crazy. I can't believe they can do that.
I don't know why they allow people to do that. I mean, it's a government organization. You'd think that you'd be able to make the bids legally binding. It would stop a lot. It would stop a lot of the drama afterwards, because then I thought I was outbid. I had another friend that I had given her money to go look at horses out in the Litchfield and Palomino Valley, and she was sending me pictures that same day, being like, "Oh, would you like this one, or whatever?" And I was about to get a whole nother dang horse, and then got the second offer on him. So
I mean, what if you already bought a different one? That's crazy.
The time they have to invest chasing all these down.
It's. I don't think it's the best system.
Well, no matter, you got that amazing, beautiful buckskin. Congratulations. Here's to hoping nothing happens to him between then and now. And it's going to be awesome. And we'll see you at the Classic. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Well, where can people find out more about what you do?
So we have a website, follyandfriends.org. But our biggest method would be Facebook, for those that are on there. That's kind of what started everything. People just started following Folly when I got her. And then it became Folly, a Mustang named Folly and Friends. And then it snowballed into the sanctuary once I finally got 501c3 status. And it was like, oh man, we're really doing this on a larger scale now. It's not just
as our mutual friend. As our mutual friend Elisa Wallace says, they're like potato chips. You just
they really are.
Keep coming. Keep them coming.
And she's being a little bit humble. She has 120,000 followers for Folly and Friends on Facebook.
Yeah,
so
she's awesome.
A little humble there. Chelsea, this is great. I'm so glad you're doing the work that you're doing. And keep in touch as you get this horse and start training this horse up. I don't know if it has a name yet, but let us know. And you know what? We would love to follow your progress, especially if you're going to head to the Mustang Classic. Maybe we'll have you on periodically before then and then after. Would you do that?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's do that. Let's make you our poster child for the Mustang Classic this year.
Because I think I'm going to try to get there no matter what, because I have another unlikely entry. A friend of mine convinced me to get this one little mare and said that, oh, there's a trailer heading from Arizona to New York. Just put her on that. And suddenly this thing arrived, and she's tiny. She's not the horse I would have picked for this challenge. She's only 3. She's maybe 13, 3 hands at the very most. But she's sweet. So I feel like we have the sweet but not very athletic entry, and we have the one that has all the athleticism you could ever want, and we'll see what kind of personality he has. So
it is an English class. Do they have carriage driving where you could do English dressage and with the little one?
So they don't have carriage driving, but you could probably do that in your freestyle, because if they're over 3 years old, they're allowed to pull something. So and it's one of those things where after, depending on how well I click with the horse, they might stay here. It might be one of those ones where I stumble across their perfect person, and sometimes I feel like that I'm just a stepping stone to give them the knowledge they need to go and like have their happily ever after with somebody.
That brings up a good question. You're in Pennsylvania. So for any of our listeners that are around there, they're looking for a Mustang that's been started. Do you have some up for adoption?
Right now, not technically up for adoption. If they're interested, sometimes it's just the right person contacts me and I'm like, actually, I have the perfect horse for you.
All right.
I do have one that's coming back from lease, a little 13 3-hand, super, super bomb-proof brain. She's green started. She'll be available soon. I have one that will be coming back from lease, I think, this summer. And he's fox hunted multiple seasons. He's a solid horse.
Well, I understand you're friends with Ashley, so I'll talk to Ashley and tell her we want to get you on in the lead up to the Classic.
Perfect. Yeah, Ashley's another friend that I made through Mustangs. It's kind of amazing how many wonderful people I've met through this Mustang community.
Well, the website, again, is follyandfriends.org. Check it out. It's Folly and Friends on Facebook as well. Thank you, Chelsea. Good to talk to you today.
Perfect. Thanks. It was nice talking to you guys.
For first-time horse owners and new riders, finding the information and support you need can be challenging. That's why Equine Network has partnered with Sentinel and Absorbine to bring you My New Horse. From important horsekeeping information and how-to videos to social media communities, exclusive experiences, and more, My New Horse is your one-stop shop for riders of all levels and disciplines looking for easy-to-understand horse care information and guidance. Start your horse ownership journey today. Visit mynewhorse.com.
You can enjoy your favorite equine videos all in one place with Ride TV, the ultimate equine streaming platform. The newly relaunched Ride TV has all the series you love, like Cowgirls and Ridiculous Ranches, plus top-tier training videos and event footage from BailRacing.com and Horse and Rider On Demand. Whether you're ready to relax with your favorite series, binge watch competition footage, or train with a world champion, subscribe to Ride TV today for only $19.99 to see where your ride takes you. Visit ridetvgo.tv to subscribe.
So Taco, your new little pony it was first time, and Taco, you said, was a little head shy and a little hard to be around or didn't want to deal with people too much.
Okay, yeah. So Taco is we were able to measure him, and he is, remember, things that guess what? Buying horses sight unseen is always a little bit of a problem. So he was supposed to be 14.2. He's 13.3. So he's big enough for me to ride. Like, he'll be fine. But he came from the last owner that he had only had him for 3 weeks, and they had traded him for a mule 3 weeks before I got him. So like this little pony has bounced around, and he has very little trust for humans. He reminds me of a Mustang that you've just now gotten to where you can touch him everywhere, but you still can't catch him. So I've been working on getting him caught and messing with him and picking up his feet and stuff. And he's figuring all that out, but he's very head shy. And so I wanted to have his teeth looked at. Number one, I wanted to see how old he was.
Well, how old was he supposed to be?
They said he was between 7 and 9.
Okay.
And so I'm very good at aging horses by their teeth. I went to school for that stupid stuff.
So I want to let you know, I just wrote down my guess. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So with him finally being sedated, I was able to open his mouth and look at his teeth, and we did float his teeth. And remember that he had that weird lump on the underside of his neck, about halfway. Yeah, it felt like a bullet in his neck, like something at the base of his neck in between his jaw and his chest, about maybe 2/3 of the way up. There was just this really hard lump thing, but it didn't bother him, and it wasn't hot or anything, but I didn't know what it was. So vet came out to just basically do a general inspection. We need to vaccinate him. I couldn't deworm him because you can't touch his face. We're working on that, obviously. So what was your guess on his age?
15.
Well, remember Maverick, who was supposed to be 8, turns out he is 15, because I did some brand research, contacted his old owners who live in Montana and did a brand. They were like, hey, he's 15. So that's a great guess. Now, they said between 7 and 9. Guess how old he is?
15.
8.
Wow.
He's actually the age
Wow.
they said.
Somebody looked at his teeth, huh?
I know. All of his cups were gone, which is the indicator of 6, 7, 8. But he had It just exactly all of the
Did you breathe
things,
a sigh of relief?
Yes. Well, I'd asked for a picture of his teeth, and they lifted his front lip and sent me a picture of his couple front teeth. And I was like, well, there's not baby teeth in there. So I can at least tell there's not baby teeth because they're 2, 3, and 4, and then all the baby teeth on the front are gone. So all of the things the vet and I both agreed on 8. So that is what we're going with.
Yeah, well, that's good news.
Yeah, it is very good news.
Did she cut the bullet out?
So here, it's weirder than a bullet.
How's it weirder than a bullet?
It's weirder than a bullet. So remember, this horse came from southeastern Oklahoma. There's nothing in the town that he lived in has one stop sign that he came from. And again, he was traded to there 3 weeks ago for a mule. So I don't know anything about him. So she's like, that's super weird. I don't know what that is. It's a really hard, rock feeling lump in his neck. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to take an x-ray of that. I said, okay. We take an x-ray. It is a tracheotomy scar. So the story that she and I could come up with as to why this pony would have a fairly botched tracheotomy scar is he could have had strangles at some point in his younger day. So he had strangles, and the only way that they could save him because he couldn't breathe was to do a tracheotomy. So they did that. And probably it was done by a cow vet or the farmer. So she was like, I've never felt one of you shouldn't be able to feel this like this. You shouldn't be able to
stocks and
somebody just jabbed a pin down in there, Glenn, basically is what it seems like. She's like, this should not look like this, but this is what this is. So because when she felt it, she was like, this is where a tracheotomy would be. And I was like, no, not where he's from. There's no way. It's more likely a bullet lodged in his neck. And she agreed. And then we took the x-rays, and it's scar tissue. It is crazy.
Well, I'm kind of glad it wasn't a bullet.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. And she said it will have no impact on his breathing or his career. His whole trachea looks really good and intact, and she said it won't ever bother
him. He was pretty healthy.
So yeah, she said, she's like, oh my God, I love him so much. He's adorable. Like, you did so good. We're really excited about it. And he did great. And so I did a first join up with him yesterday, a little nervous about coming up to me, but he did great. And she's really excited about the prospect of him. And she said he's going to do really well. And he's already coming around. I can already walk up and catch him. I started working on touching his face yesterday. I can pick up all his feet now. And that was just one day. So I'm really excited of the kind of the future that I have with this little pony, Little Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for updates, and I'm glad it all went well, and he's not 17.
Yeah, he's not 17. He's not lame. He's not crippled, and he doesn't have a bullet
and he
in
hasn't
his
been
neck.
shot.
He hasn't been shot. He was, remember, they did take him hog hunting. Oh, so I did call I messaged the guy I got him from because I was like wanting to know why this horse has had a trach put in. And so I messaged him and I was like, hey, just want to let you know, number one, love the pony. He's going to be great. No problems whatsoever. But I do have a question. At some point, this horse has had a tracheotomy and he's had something put in his neck to help with his breathing. Now, again, I'm not upset, not mad. It's not going to affect him at all. I love him just the same. Everything's great. But can you please contact the previous owner and find out why? And his response was, well, first of all, I never noticed that, I swear. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure you didn't. My message back was, I'm pretty sure you didn't snuggle with him as much as I do. And remember, this is like a cow guy in southeastern Oklahoma. I'm sure is no way.
He's never touched the horse's neck. What are you talking about?
He doesn't know how to take me at all, I think, too. And I'm like, well, obviously you didn't snuggle with him like I did, so you probably wouldn't have noticed. But if you could please contact the guy. I don't know who he is, and I don't have his number or nothing, but I do see him from time to time, so I'll ask him if I remember. All right, dude.
That is so Oklahoma.
I know. I see him from time to time. I'll ask him
when he gets the next horse from him.
Oh my God. So anyway, little Taquito
Welcome to
is
rural
doing
America.
great. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty exciting. And Farm Boy likes him, and the vet
Farm
loves
Boy
him.
can't ride him,
I love
though.
him. No.
No.
Farm Boy will not be riding him.
No.
No. His legs will drag the ground.
You know what you have to do? You've got to do this. Someday when Farm Boy's there, you have to make noodles and vegetable broth for him.
I made you ramen. I'm having him up for dinner.
Pay attention.
If you ain't met one by now, you're bound to sooner or later. He says one thing and he means another, but hey, he can't help it. He's a horse trader. Horse trading. Well, it's a laissez-faire. Let the buyer beware. Horse trading. They tell a low-down lie with a sincere stare. Horse trading. Well, if they're talking in circles and the deal ain't square, he's a master in the fine art of persuading. Horse trading.
That's right. It is time for Really Bad Ads. That time of the week when listeners submit ads from Craigslist, Facebook, or somewhere like that. And we just have a little bit of fun reading them. And we ask you guys, if you want to, you can read ads and send them to us. Now, remember, Lorene was traveling last week. She came down for her birthday to Ocala. And Lorene has been submitting ads to us pretty much every week. She didn't even miss this week. We have a Lorene one we're going to end with
Yay!
today.
Did you have her do it live?
No.
Oh,
She's on the ball. She does not miss. She is dedicated to her mission. We have some that we're not going to get to today. Allison Dudewire. I don't know who that is. It's probably just an email address. Amy, Jennifer, and Katie.
Dwyer.
Thank you so much for submitting. We just don't have time for all of them every week. But Claire sent in the first one. Do you want to hear Claire?
I sure do.
Right.
Hello, this is Claire from Arizona. I have a really bad ad. The ad says that the people are located in Catlett, Virginia. So I'll try to add a little southern twang and we'll see how it goes. Says, located in Catlett, Virginia. Stunning 2023 3/4 Gypsy Cross filly. The Heartbreaker Romeo x Chalet. All the beauty and bone hair and that movement will mature 14 to 14.2 KSF Miss Independence born. Home emoji, 5 emoji, carrot emoji. I have arms. It really does say at the end, I have arms.
I have arms?
Don't know why that had to be there, but the horse has bone hair and the person has arms. Okay.
I thought she said bone hair.
I did too. I was like, what?
Oh my
Again,
God. I didn't
it's a bad
understand
ad, so there you go.
I didn't understand a word of that. Chloe sent the next one in. 9-year-old QT Pony 14H. Great horse if he ain't deadhead. Great horse if he ain't a deadhead. He is very close. He has no vice. No kick, buck, or nothing. Very laid back and will go anywhere you point him, pick up all feet good. Would make a great woman horse or kid. He'd make a great kid. Beginner safe 100%. You can turn him out for weeks and he'll be the same when you ride him. He's a pony too, about your pony size,
Oh my
with
God,
the
he
biggest
looks just
Western
like-
saddle.
Just like Taco.
He does, and the saddle's bigger than he is. That's why he has no vices. The saddle's so heavy, he can't do anything.
He can't move.
It's no bucking.
I mean, they got a tight back cinch on him, a ill-fitting breast collar that's down around his front knees.
Poor pony.
He can't move because the breast collar is going to trip him.
My guess is, too, that this 9-year-old's actually 15.
Yeah. It can happen. They actually might be 9 sometime.
Wow, a lot of people sent the next one.
This next one was sent in by Taylor, Kayla, Julie, Sarah, and Lisa. All of y'all sent this in and specifically requested that I read it. Now, I haven't read it yet, so it's in Ohio. Okay. Oh, God. Crackhead pony is the last one still looking for a home. Do you need a reason to get out of your house? Do you want a pony who will constantly give you dirty looks? Do you love a challenge? Do you think you can, quote, fix everything? Well, Foxy might be for you.
Foxy. That's
It's
a great
like
name.
it's the day of like 8 to 10-year-old ponies.
Yeah. 13 hands, too.
9 to 10 years old, 13 hands of total nerves and crackhead behavior. She has, I have to say, gotten a lot better since being here. She will actually let you walk up to her now, most of the time. She did bite me the other day.
Did you? Is this your horse? Did you put this out?
Mine's a boy. Mine's a boy. It's just her brother. I have
named
a brother.
Foxy.
She did bite me the other day. More of a nibble. She was, oh God. She was rode through the auction and I rode her after. But other than that, she's been chilling in the pasture.
I'm scared to death.
I'm scared of her. I will not test ride her for you. I will not sell her to someone who wants a, quote, kid's pony. She will eat those kids. Foxy needs someone who can work with her. She's 100% sound. Come get her. Zanesville, Ohio, $700.
You know, Facebook really did not succeed at eliminating ads for sale horse ponies.
No, they've done a terrible job.
That is a funny ad, though. I actually want to call the person and see if they're that funny in person. That was a good ad.
Get them on.
Katie sent the next one in. Oh,
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That just doesn't make any sense. No punctuation at all. And there's a lot of yelling. Oh, wow, Ralph. Coming 2-year Percheron stud colt, 16HH, gentle broke to lead. Outstand color for stud or gelding Grula with yellow halter is dam buckskin is sire elite swallowed in front knees. Was that way since Weanling. It does not bother him. Location, Minnesota. It was in Georgia for a change. This is not a Percheron.
It's not a Percheron. And I'll tell you why it's not a Percheron. Because it's a Perch Eon.
Oh, Percheron.
I love that. Okay, that's why.
Because I was looking and it doesn't have the color of Percheron. It says it's a Grula with a yellow halter, and yet it has a pink halter. What does that yellow halter mean?
I don't know. It's a little 8 to 10-year-old, 13 to 14 hand pony.
This seems to be our day for ponies.
Yeah.
It's gentle broke to lead.
Let me just go ahead and just remind everybody to geld that.
It's swallowed in the front knees. Is that a word we're supposed to know? Swallowed in the front knees?
I don't know. You Google that while I read
I'll
the
look
next
that
one.
up because I'm not sure that's a thing.
Sometimes we do learn things from these ads. Clark sent the next one.
One of our listeners will let us know.
Clark sent the next one in. Bring me 300. It's yours. New flooring. Only thing wrong with it is that piece needs to be welded together. Oh my God. And then I scroll down and I see what looks like a armored car vehicle, black 2-horse round front typical trailer with the window, but instead of the window in the front, there's, deer antlers
sticking out the front.
Looked
like the deer ran in and got stuck in the window.
I wish I knew where this was because I'm sure I read it wrong. Which is bring me 300 and it's your snow floor, and the only thing wrong with it is that piece needs to be welded back together. There's a wheel missing. There is a broken tongue thing, which doesn't look like
Maybe
the
that's
real
the piece
tongue.
that needs welded. We're not sure. All right, there is no such thing as a swallowed in the front knees. I looked that up, and I think what they were trying to say is it's swollen. The knees are swollen. That's my guess.
Well, bless its heart. Its confirmation is not the best.
Rebecca sent this one in. I got the ones with all... I signed myself the ones with all no punctuation today.
Yep.
Kit, 15-year-old, all one word, year-old. Quarter horse mare, 15.2 HH, broke to ride good trail horse or ranch rodeo horse, old enough to stay same location.
What?
He's old enough to stay in the same location.
I don't know what that means.
God, the ads are bad today.
Rowan sent the next one in.
Although it wasn't a pony.
It's true. It's 15.2, but it's probably 14.2. So
that's true.
Yeah. Rowan sent this one in. Horse for sale, $700 in Lafayette, Indiana. I have a 9-year-old quarter/buckskin horse, 14 hands tall, for sale, $700. He has only been broke for the last 4 years.
Okay, that kind of means he is. You don't even have to mention it.
He has been to a guy that broke him, just so you know, saying that word hurts my soul. You give these to me because you know it's going to make me mad. He has been to a guy that broke him for me for 30 days.
4 years ago.
He has also been to a trainer last summer for 60 days.
Because the broken part didn't work.
It didn't stick.
No.
It's why we say he's only been broke for 4 years. He still needs to be rode ROAD at least 4 or 5 days a week. He is a little skittish around new things at first. It always comes to this. We'll also trade for a well-broke horse. Yeah. Take my problem and give me your perfect horse, and I'll trade you. Straight up.
It's always these have been consistent for the last 14 years. It's always the fourth or fifth sentence that the truth comes out. They give you, it's been broken, been great, and all of this stuff, and then you find out, really not. No,
it's been to 2 trainers. It's had 90 days in 4 years.
And it's still skittish.
And it still ain't broke.
Deep breath, Jamie. Deep breath. Gina sent the following one in. 3-year-old pony. And thank God there's punctuation. Trissy is
I've never heard of
it's
Trissy.
A Hackney Welsh pony. Trissy is a 3-year-old Hackney Welsh pony.
8.
She's around 11 and a half hands. Should get to be about 13.5. No. Not at 3.
That's not how they work. At 3, they don't grow that far.
No, that's a big growth spurt there.
8 and 12. That's 8 inches.
I'm going to be
3.
When this is the next sentence in any ad, or when somebody says this to you in person, that they're all lies coming next.
There's always a but.
Yep. I'm going to be honest about this horse. She is not broke. She bites. She is a food hog. She will knock you down to get to the feed trough. If you don't know what you're doing, she will probably hurt you. She needs her hooves done. She used to be halter broke, not anymore, and she has no coggins because we can't get near her. She has been a pasture pet, so never needed one. Because we can't get near her. And I will not pull one. That's why I am offering her at trade only.
Oh.
Let me guess. They want a perfectly broke, beautiful horse. If you're looking for a wild, spunky pony, this one is it. She is beautiful gait and would make someone a good cart or jumper pony. I need to get rid of her. She is just costing me. What do you want to trade for? You never mentioned what you wanted to trade for.
I bet she would love to trade you for Scooter.
Oh, yes. I'm sure she would.
I'm stuck on she's 11 and a half hands, but she's going to make it to 13 in the next year.
Yeah. Maybe
that is a hell of a growth spurt if you're already 3. 8 inches. Whoop, you walk outside, you're like, what the heck happened to my pony? It's giant.
All right. We have 2 trailers today, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this one is a beautiful one. Casey sent this one in. Pull's good. No title. No front jack. Pulling frame is good. Front rounded part has a dent in it. Fix it up or make a chicken coop or goat house.
I'm voting for the chicken coop myself.
When you say dent, do you mean that the seam is completely broken and the front half is actually not attached to the trailer? Because that's what that looks like to me.
That's what it looks like. It looks like you could take the top and make it a convertible with just pushing it.
I feel like, well, first, before you do that, you'd have to pull it out of the weeds and the trees that have grown around it. And there is no front. It's a rusted metal. You know what? It looks like the Mandalorian's helmet.
It does, actually. It's the same kind of color, too.
With the lines on the front.
Oh, you're right.
Green and brown. It's Mandalorian. They could totally sell this, paint what is it? this is the way, right? This is the way on it, and somebody will give you $1,000.
All right. Lorene sent the last one in for the day. We love ending on Lorene.
Good morning. It's Lorene Barden, and I'm going to read a really bad ad. And this is a Craigslist ad for a donkey, $400. Person backed out. He's up again. We need someone who can come get him soon. Needs plenty of other animals to be with and someone who can work with him. He guards his animals well, but he needs more land and herd to guard. He is bored with only one cow to protect and has become destructive. We've tried toys, but he doesn't seem to care for them except poo noodles. He loved them but destroyed them, and we had to quickly pick up the pieces. He's also become very weary of humans, which is the biggest reason we need to rehome. Our animals are our pets, and we want them to be friendly with us. He has kicked at us once, and we will not tolerate that, especially when it's mostly our older parent going in there.
Oh, God.
He's roughly 1 year old, rescued. Capital letters, not gelded.
Oh, God.
Gee, I wonder if that could be the problem. Just had his hooves done, located in Crawfordsville, Indiana. So if you want to rescue these people from their destructive donkey, you could go pay $400. Or someone could just suggest that they geld it. Jamie, say your favorite line. Thanks and have a great weekend.
Geld that. Come on, Lorene. You know how we roll.
They don't have that technology in Indiana. That's not available there. We don't do that there.
So there's always a theme. There's just always a theme.
It is. There always is a theme. And today, ponies were the theme. But you know what? I'd be happy to trade you for a perfect one.
Man, I got the thing that'll kick and bite you, but I'll trade you for something real good.
Does it ever happen?
That nobody will include their phone numbers. I want phone numbers so I can at least text them during the show and be like, hey, do you still have that horse available? Like, I'll be real cool about it, Glenn. I'm not going to get the network in trouble. I know that's why you won't let me have these phone numbers because you think I'm going to do something bad. But I texted about the organic puppies and I learned that they're, because they were fed organic food, they're organic puppies. And I didn't know that.
That is probably a thing we just didn't know about.
I don't think it's a thing. I don't think feeding something organic food makes it an organic animal.
Aren't all animals really organic when you think about it?
I love it. People are like, I have vegetarian chickens. I'm like, no, you don't, because they eat bugs, whether you like it or not.
That's true. That's true.
They'll eat a mouse if they can catch it.
That's right. But pretty much chickens will eat anything.
Yeah, they'll eat anything. They'll eat your finger.
Yeah. Actually,
I have a friend came over and she was like, she wouldn't walk near the chickens. And I was like, what is your problem? She's like, I'm afraid of chickens. I'm like, how are you afraid of chickens? She goes, because if you fall down and die, they will eat you.
They'll eat each other. They eat each other all the time. If one dies in the coop and you don't notice, that's done for.
That's gross. And like your cat will eat you if you're not dead. So I feel like you should redirect your fear.
It's true. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We hope you stay warm this weekend. I know it's supposed to get even colder. Did you see what your home state is supposed to be this weekend? In the single digits.
What's my home state?
Georgia.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I've lived so many places.
Single digits in Georgia. So, yeah, stay warm this weekend. We'll be thinking about you, and we'll be back here on Monday.
Do you know what single digits means in Atlanta?
No.
Really bad traffic.
Oh.
Like really bad traffic.